What's up, guys? Welcome back to Inside Moves. I am your host, Jasmine, and I am so excited for our guest today. It is one of my close friends, but someone who is killing the game right now. We have Carly Gruenberg, the VP of Marketing for the NYNJ Host Committee of the FIFA World Cup 2026. Hi, Carly. How are you?
Oh, so good.
Oh, man, I'm so happy to have you here.
I'm so happy to be here.
Yeah.
Thank you for having me.
Of course. As we all know, the World Cup is such a big deal for 2026. And so I'm excited to have you on, talk more about that, but also talk about your connection to sport and just have a good time.
I love it.
Yeah, nice. So I know you through the world of basketball and women's basketball in New York, but obviously World Cup is not basketball. It is soccer to us Americans, football to international. So tell us how grow up playing basketball, being connected to sport has led you to a position like this.
Yeah. Well, for me, yes, basketball was my sport. Played high school, college, met Jazz through it, met so many of my friends here. But for me, honestly, I'm a fan of sports in general. Grew up playing everything. Played soccer when I was really little. And I actually started my career not working at all in sports. Mm-hmm. Was working in politics, actually.
Oh, wow.
So
you need a little politics in your life for any career field today.
It did set me up. So I graduated college, got an internship on a campaign, and it was on this campaign, and it was for the governor of New Jersey, Phil Murphy, who won. And then I was in his administration for a couple of years. So I was in this role for about, I was probably with him for about 4 years, and left kind of knowing I wanted to do something different. I wanted to get out of politics, do something more in line with my interests, was looking into, media, tech, sports, decided in order to make this career change, I thought I needed to go back to school. So I went to business school, went to NYU, got my MBA. And then from there was, again, trying back in my job search, trying to navigate which field I wanted to end up in. I was able to break into sports, specifically in the women's basketball space, at a women's basketball sneaker startup through some of the leagues we play in, Hoop York City, Buckets and Brunch, all of these amazing women's basketball collectives. Yeah. Meeting people who were in this industry. And I was like, you know what? That is really what I want to do. Mm-hmm. So sports was really integral in helping me get to where I am. But basically, long story short, the bid to host matches for the World Cup actually starts in government, which is interesting. Mm-hmm. So I knew my former colleague, who was a lawyer in the governor's office of New Jersey, was working on this. She was still there. And I kind of annoyed her for about a year, being like, hey, I know you're working on this, would love to help if there's an opportunity. And so then finally, she was like, okay, we're ready, we need help. And then I was the third hire. So
nice. So you started from the ground up.
Been working on this since 2023, which is wild.
Yeah. Wow.
And it's finally here.
3 years later. Wow.
I know.
That is absolutely amazing. I love that you didn't just kind of stay in one career field and be like, okay, this is it for me. You understood that there's a way to use, your connections and your passions and the people you meet. New York is a great city for that, to kind of get to maneuver to where you want to go. So that's kudos to you for doing that, because a lot of people will just kind of stay and unfortunately be stuck in the career fields of whatever they originally went to school for. And so that's really cool. Can you please explain what it means to be, obviously New York won, what does it mean to be the host committee for something as big as the FIFA World Cup?
It is very confusing.
Extremely. And a lot of words, but really cool.
It's a lot of words, and people don't really know the difference. Are we FIFA? Are we another entity? So it is fascinating, and it is, like I mentioned earlier, the host committee was born out of a joint agreement between the state of New Jersey and the city of New York to basically form this organization that was responsible for delivering World Cup matches here in this region. So at MetLife Stadium, but then making sure we're delivering across the whole New York, New Jersey region. Mm-hmm. So we are technically separate from FIFA. We're an independent nonprofit, but we work with them hand in hand. So they are our main partners in this. And kind of how we describe it a lot is FIFA has total jurisdiction over the stadium and what goes on with the matches, the players, teams, etc. whereas the host committee is responsible for everything outside.
Okay, that makes sense.
Transportation, security, fan engagement, working with our tourism agencies on tourism, marketing, and then, legacy and kind of growing the game and what we leave behind after 26. So that's a little bit of what the host committee is. So it's a real combination of government and sports and just kind of a lot of different stakeholders working together.
Nice. Wow. That's intense. That's a lot to be responsible for, especially in a city like New York, New Jersey. Understanding your background and your connection to sport, how do you kind of just shape this role and how do you approach it every day? Because I know what you said was just so much to really focus on. You have so many people to be responsible for. And so how do you kind of approach that, knowing that, okay, we're speaking to people who, again, are, passionate about the game of soccer, who are passionate about politics, who are passionate about their cities. So how do you rope that all together to make sure you're doing your job well?
Yeah, it's a big task. As I was more of a basketball player, I do appreciate and fully understand that soccer or football is literally people's religion, especially for all the international people coming here, following their teams. And for me personally, and I feel like I take it maybe a little too personally, but it's like, how are we doing that justice and delivering on that and making sure we're kind of highlighting our region in an authentic way, telling those stories, uplifting local communities, but also kind of making it an exciting environment for the international visitors to come. We're predicting over 1 million international visitors coming this summer. But for how I approach it every day, it is a challenge, because I think the other funny misconception with us, with the host committee on the ground, is we're a small team. It's very scrappy. We're all wearing a lot of different hats. And so for me, it's kind of every day showing up with really being flexible and agile, knowing you're going to be working on so many extremely different projects throughout the day and having to answer to a lot of things and making sure things are being delivered on a really short timeline, because it's a once in a lifetime opportunity. It comes and then it goes as quickly as it was.
Yeah, for sure. No, that makes sense. I would say you mentioned there being like a lot of challenges in your day to day. And I think being in the city like New York, New Jersey, there are a lot of people in the community who want their voices to be heard. So what have you guys been doing to make sure that the locals of New York and New Jersey have felt connected to the growth and the expansion of the host committee, and making sure that, whether that's, artists, DJs, performers, community leaders feel like they're a part of shaping what all of this is going to be?
Yeah. And I think there's a few ways to look at it. I think one is, this kind of artist, cultural community that is so important, that makes us so unique. I'd say tapping into them for a lot of our fan engagement experiences. So we have 5 official fan sites, which are going to be massive, lasting pretty long durations of time each. And kind of how are we bringing some of those local performers, local artists into the mix. So I'd say that's kind of one area that we're working towards. And then I would also talk about how we're highlighting the people who've been in this space, been in the soccer community, and are currently still doing just amazing work across both New York City and New Jersey in the soccer space specifically. So whether it's youth sports, that's a big thing, is making sure we are highlighting, telling those stories of the organizations doing amazing nonprofit youth work, growing the game, leaving, legacy behind. There's that aspect. There's also the aspect of people who, adults and grassroots pickup leagues and clubs and people who are organizing at that level. We are much more of a soccer or football community than I think a lot of people think. And the other thing I would say, involving local communities, is making sure, our small businesses, our local townships, all of that are involved. I feel like they're a part of it. So making sure we're providing these townships and businesses with the right tools to feel like they can, feel the impact, and also be a part of just kind of general World Cup energy. So enabling them with kind of tools or guidance on standing up watch parties or getting their small businesses ready. We started a small business rewards program, which is exciting. And, it's a gamified app experience that lets small businesses enroll and encourages people to check in and visit as many local small businesses as possible. So those are kind of the main areas that I think we're doing to kind of connect with a lot of the local communities and make sure they're heard.
Yeah, for sure. No, you guys are generating a lot of like, not only just buzz, but also it sounds like wealth for a lot of businesses, a lot of these communities, because like you said, there's going to be close to 1 million people coming this summer to check out the World Cup. And so what is maybe one of the initiatives with either fan engagement or community engagement that you're most excited for this summer? If you can talk about any of them yet, because I know everything's kind of like a surprise. You guys have posted some things.
I know. I mean, for me, I think it's going to be really exciting. Maybe a little nerve-wracking, but I'm really excited to see our fan sites come to life. There's been a lot of kind of changes and challenges thrown at us, and it's kind of how we've moved through those. And I think, hopefully, knock on wood, kind of stand up some really meaningful events that our local residents can come and enjoy, that international visitors can come and enjoy. So I would say, yes, those are exciting. We'll be in Queens. We'll at the U.S. Tennis Center for the group stage matches from June 11th to June 27th. We'll also have a couple. We'll also be at Rockefeller Center for the knockout rounds.
Nice.
And then in between that, we also are activating at Sports Illustrated Stadium in New Jersey for 16 days. And then we have some smaller pop-ups in the Bronx and Staten Island. So for us to see that come to life it's so many venues and it's a lot of different moving parts. But to create these environments for people to come, gather, watch the matches and kind of create this World Cup experience and energy outside the stadium, I think is going to be really impactful. So, and now the mayor's office is, our new New York City mayor is also really excited and involved,
he loves sports.
It's fun. It's really fun to kind of have him be able to elevate some of these experiences too.
For me, I'm a sports fan. I don't know too much about football, but this is something where just through knowing you, seeing what you've been doing, seeing what FIFA has been doing and everything coming to New York, like I want to learn more. Like I know I've been watching more games just from wanting to be ready for the World Cup because I want to be a part of the conversation and the buzz and feel the energy. I think that's one fun thing about living in New York is whenever there's a sports game on, you feel that energy regardless of where you are. And I know one thing we talked about earlier was how you did research to kind of find the artist for the poster launch. So I wanted you to tell me a little bit about that because I remember when that poster launch happened. It was like one of the big first things for the host committee that happened. And it came out beautifully. It was all over the city. Loved watching it. So tell me a little bit about that.
Oh yeah. So, I mean, for anyone that doesn't know, every host city, all 16 host cities across North America, each one has a host committee similar to this. And there was a project with FIFA where every host city developed their own specific poster. So it was on the host committee to find the artists, work with them on kind of what the design was and all of that. I just deep dove into graphic designers who were, the main thing was they had to be from New York or New Jersey. That was the main criteria. They had to live here. So it's deep dive into like who are the top graphic designers.
Because there's so many in New York.
So many.
In New Jersey,
Guess I was, reading articles, just really searching on Instagram, all of that. So it's not as glamorous as it sounds, but it was, it ultimately came across so many awesome designers and talent, but ultimately came across Rich too, who is awesome. And for us, he actually was also from New Jersey and lives in Brooklyn. So for us to have an artist that represent both was
a big
win. And he had amazing experience and was so great to work with and kind of got the vibe of how we bring together the style of both New York, New Jersey in one. And we were working on such a tight timeline. So we're so thrilled how that came out. And then we were able to, do an awesome launch at the Poster House, which is a poster-specific museum in Manhattan. We had a bunch of, billboards and some wheat pasting that went on in Jersey City. So we really tried to take over the region when we launched that. So that was very special and probably one of the projects I'm most proud about, I think, leaving behind after the World Cup.
No, that was really cool to see. And it was so interesting because, like you said, there's different host committees in different states, right? When I saw all of the designs, I was like, did they all work together? Or were they supposed to look a little different? But it all still ended up being so cohesive and really beautiful to all see all of those come out. So that was kudos to y'all. You did your research, you found someone last minute, but they were able to come through and even be more connected to what you guys wanted to put out into the world. No, that's amazing. I love that. As you know, you originally have this background in basketball, but now you're in this soccer space. How have you made sure that you're getting the most authentic information, the most authentic connections to be able to tell this international football story to not only the communities of New York and New Jersey, but also to the international fans who are coming?
That was a big thing for me when I first started. You know, how do I learn quickly? I think I knew more than the average person, but had a huge gap. You know, there are people that live and die for soccer and for football. So for me, it was making sure I am pulling the right resources and talking to the right people about this. I'm fortunate that I have some amazing friends in the soccer space, some of my best friends who are just, you know, kind of organizing around soccer and playing the game for years and years. So, you know, shout out Secret Football Club if you're watching.
Yes.
But
I've never viewed them. They are football to the T, like football Bibles. It's amazing.
Yeah, so they're amazing, kind of being able to say, hey, is this cool? Is this true? Is this a good idea to talk about? You know, bouncing some things off them. It's also making sure, for me, what was a big thing was hiring a social media agency that was soccer specific, kind of making sure some of the outside support we were getting had a really strong soccer foundation to make sure we were telling those authentic stories and kind of knowing who the right players were, knowing who the legends are, kind of being able to cater and to really also those international fans who are coming to our page, coming to our site to learn more about, you know, soccer here and kind of our knowledge of it in a way too. So for me, again, it was really important for me to kind of admit, yes, I do not know a lot of this.
Which a lot of people do not want to do.
Right. Yeah. So it's, you know, this is not my fully aware, you know, basketball is my sport. I'm coming into this knowing I needed to kind of outsource and making sure I'm hiring or working with the people or having relationships with the people that will help me navigate and making sure I'm doing it in an authentic way. So that was a big piece of this.
Nice. I love that. No, that's really smart to do. I feel like most people in leadership positions, they feel like sometimes they know all things and what they know is word and that's it. So the fact that you were like, no, I'm in this position, but I want to do well in it. So I'm going to go find those people who know I'm going to do that research and go above and beyond. So that's amazing that you did that.
Yeah, no, I couldn't do it without that support. So
yeah,
it was huge.
Love.
And hopefully we're doing justice. Hopefully doing it justice and them justice. It's really interesting dynamic though. We have a lot of, you know, between FIFA and our governmental partners and our stadium partners and our sponsors, we're navigating with so many different lanes. And sometimes it is a little tough to find exactly what that niche is and kind of balancing everyone's, priorities. So it's kind of making sure that is all coming together in the right way.
That's amazing. I love that. And with such a small team, you're doing big work.
That is the key, which I think people don't fully understand or underestimate that, you know, actually our whole marketing team is 4 people. So we definitely get creative and work with what we got. But I think our main thing is, are we kind of delivering the facts and telling the stories that people need to know and our visitors need to know. And that's really the first goal in a lot of this.
There will be a massive international presence in New York. So what are you guys doing to make sure that they feel welcome? They feel like this is not, obviously it's a foreign place to them, but not too foreign to the point of where they're kind of, you know, not knowing what to do, but they're here to see games. They're here to be a part of the fan moments, those platforms. So what are you guys doing to kind of make that international presence feel at home?
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think firstly, what does make us so unique in both New York and New Jersey is it's a melting pot community is represented here.
Melting pot, yeah.
Which you don't find that really anywhere else or as much.
Greatest city in the world.
For us, additionally, we work hand in hand with our tourism partners. So New York City Tourism and then on the Jersey side, Visit New Jersey, to make sure we are messaging to a lot of these international visitors that are coming here and kind of showing what the region has to offer, making sure we're getting out the messaging in terms of how do you get around the region, how do you get to the stadium, how do you get to our fan sites, all of that. And then I think that, kind of the last piece of this is some targeted messaging across kind of all media in terms of how are we messaging. The main thing is really, and the biggest thing is transportation, kind of how you're getting around, especially around the matches.
Very difficult to maneuver. Trains will shut off that you don't know we're off. Yeah.
Yep. So we have pretty big initiative to message out the right ways to either, access public transportation to our matches, or conversely, trying to have people plan ahead and maybe avoid kind of major transport hub stadium around match days when things will be significantly more busy. So, kind of having a pretty dynamic out of home plan around billboards and media, paid, on social, and making sure we're messaging that and in different languages as well. So we're reaching those people. So
nice. No, I love that. That's a great thing about New York. Like you said, it's such a mixture of cultures. So honestly, people will naturally feel at home because they'll see people who speak their language and can help them. And that's one thing I do love about New York. People say New Yorkers are mean, but if you actually need something, they can tell you need their help. They'll be communicative and actually help you. So I love that you guys are already kind of having all of those things in place, obviously.
Yeah, we also try to tell that story. We have 8 matches here. So we know those 9 countries that are coming in. So we're trying to give background on who these teams are, where they're from, what their ties are also to this region. When, Senegal's playing here and thinking through what is also highlighting the Senegalese community here in New York, which is also huge. So it's kind of, as we're calling out those certain communities too a lot in a lot of our messaging organically. So that's another big kind of pillar of ours, to show people how they are already represented here and kind of telling those stories.
Nice. Amazing. You mentioned you said there's 8 games plus the final, or just 8? So 9.
Including the final.
Okay.
8 total.
Who are you? Are you excited for any teams to come who are coming here?
We have an amazing group stage. I think we have the best. So our first match is Brazil-Morocco.
Oh, wow.
On June 13th, which is going to be crazy. France-Senegal is also...
Oh, that's going to be a big game.
Wild. We have Germany, we have Panama, we have England, Norway. So we have some pretty big powerhouses coming here. It's very fitting for us.
For sure. I feel like I'm going to be wearing a soccer jersey the entire summer.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I've been stacking up on them for since this winter. I was like, that's all I'm going to wear all summer.
We both wore our soccer jerseys for this.
You had to. You had to. I think it's really cool this year, and such an amazing leadership position. One, for someone as young as you are. So for a young woman looking to build career in sports and in marketing or even event leadership, what advice would you give them?
My main advice is to be persistent and really making sure you're utilizing and maintaining relationships. It is how I have really gotten every job I've had in the past, kind of through these relationships as well. And, you never know where someone might land. So it's really important to kind of continue to maintain relationships with old coworkers or friends who, are interested in an interesting industry. And from there, it's also being able to call them up, initiate that kind of, hey, we'd love to catch up with you for 15 minutes, just hear more about your job. If you have any advice for me, I'm transitioning or looking to break into the sports industry. The next thing with that is that persistence, because, people are extremely busy. I am at fault for this because I warn everyone, I'm like, please give me multiple follow-ups and pings. I need it. I'm not offended or anything by that. So I think there is something to persistence and kind of keep following up. And if you want something,
come get it.
Yeah, go for it and don't be afraid, because, a man probably wouldn't be afraid to keep
very true.
following up and asking and, not having a fear of being annoying or too much.
It's okay for our voices to be heard, and it's okay to to fight for the stage or the platform that we want to be on. So I think since I've known you, you've been doing that, and you have made it to where you are now. And so I'm really proud to know you, and I cannot wait to see you this summer, because I know you're going to be ripping and running. We're going to be waving, and you're going to the next thing. But
it's going to be crazy.
Yeah, we're going to be cheering you on.
40 straight days of madness, but it'll be worth it.
So I want us to talk a little bit more about like just looking ahead and like the vision you all have as someone who's helped shaping this historic moment of the World Cup being in New York, New Jersey. What are you personally most excited for once this summer arrives?
I'm excited to see, 3 years of this work come together in real life. A part of me still can't even picture what's truly going to look like and feel like. We have an ambitious plan of wrapping about 9 trains, subway cars across the city, and representing the countries that are playing here. And then also there's 48 total teams representing those as well in these train wraps, which is going to be pretty wild to see that come to life.
Such sociable moments for everyone to share.
And it all happened. The speed and pace of which this is happening is unreal. So to see that actually come to life and hopefully it becomes a reality, I see those trains going by, it'll be such a source of pride and really, really cool.
Yeah, no, for sure. You guys should do a contest to see who can get a picture with each train wrap, and then they possibly get a ticket to the final game. I feel like that would be like a really cool like scavenger hunt.
Ooh, that's a great idea. No, I'm going to
take it. You can have it.
I'm taking that back.
Just invite me to an event.
Yeah, for sure.
No, for sure. For someone who may not consider themselves a soccer fan, or the correct term, a football fan, why should they care about the World Cup coming to New York, New Jersey?
They should care because this is the largest event, not even a sporting event, in the history of our country. Mm-hmm. The World Cup is really like nothing. Americans, I think it's hard to understand the enormity of this. So to have that come here, and this World Cup specifically is the largest iteration of a World Cup that FIFA has put on.
Oh, wow.
So it's expanded. There's more matches. It's expanded to teams. So by nature, this is kind of, for FIFA, it's also a first in terms of this expanded format of a World Cup. Mm-hmm. And then coming here, having it across 3 countries in Canada, US, and Mexico, just makes this all so massive. This is a once-in-a-lifetime moment, and I think people should take advantage of that and enjoy and soak it in.
Yeah, for sure. I think for me, I'm going to honestly approach it as I love sports, so I'm going to go watch sport. I love artistry. I love design. Right. I love, performances. I love culture. So it's like, I want to be a part of just even witnessing that.
And that's like, even before I was in this world specifically, I was not a giant soccer person, but I love sports. But every time the World Cup would come around,
you would watch.
I would watch, and it's the energy and the passion and the way it brings people together. Watch parties and celebrations and things that just happen naturally, even in just really small communities, bars, restaurants, even out in the streets, to obviously the large scale, big produced moments and watch parties and events, but. That type of energy, it's, between that and the Olympics, it's so hard to, that's kind of the draw for me, was always that.
No, that's amazing. It's going to be an incredible summer. Again, I am so proud of you. I remember when you got this position and you were heads down, we didn't see you for a minute. We were like, is Carly okay? And it was just like, no, you were just locked in on doing something that, like you said, is once in a lifetime. And so I'm proud of you. There's going to be a fun summer. Is there anything you want to tell the World Cup fans?
Well, you probably won't see me for another summer again.
Yeah, that's okay.
Actually, on July 20th, the final is July 19th. We'll be back.
Nice.
So I'll have 40 days of every day we'll be on.
We'll have to bring you back for like a post-World Cup debrief and just like, I think you'll be able to talk more about everything that has happened because, this is pre-World Cup. You can't give it all away, but I think after we'll have you back and we can deep dive into what all we saw.
I love it. You all should make sure you follow the New York, New Jersey Host Committee for all official fan information, transportation information, know before you goes. Our Instagram is FWC 26 New York, New Jersey. So FIFA World Cup, 26 New York, New Jersey. Our website is the opposite. It's NYNJFWC26.com. So please follow, and we hope it's an amazing and incredible summer.
Yeah. Well, I'm excited. I'm excited to witness it all, or as much as I can.
Me too.
Well, Carly Gruenberg.
Okay.
Who do you see winning FIFA World Cup 2026?
I am going to put my money on France.
Yes.
You heard it here first.
Heard it here first. And if they win,
what do you give me?
another interview.
I can do that.
Another episode. That's all I have for you. Maybe a Slam magazine or a pillow.
Okay, I'll take that.
All right, cool. That's it. Thanks, Carly. Appreciate you being on Inside Moves.